MMA Locker Room here with Pick Dawgz, and I'm going to be going over this week's UFC 304 card, headlined in London by Leon Edwards taking on Belal Muhammad, Tom Aspinall versus Curtis Blaydes in the co-main event, Paddy Pimblett and King Green also. Look, we got a lot of fights to talk about, folks. We got 14 fights to talk about, all right? Welcome to the UFC Bet With Me series. Last week, Virna Jandiroba versus Lemos. Main event, we killed it in that one, man. We gave out Jandiroba. We knew she was the spot in there, man. What'd she do? Subbed her, man. Let me know how you guys did last week on your guys' bets. And hey, man, let me know exactly what are you guys going to be betting on this week, man, because we got a lot to talk about, man. 14 fights, okay? Some of these fights that we're going to be talking about are going to be entertaining. Some I'm going to just breeze past because I'm not interested in. But if I do see a bet that's worth mentioning, definitely going to go over it. And hey, one thing we got to know, man, this is going to be taking place in London out there. And it's going to be taking place at like 1 o'clock in the morning their time, just so that the people in the United States can watch it our regular time. So that's something you guys got to keep in consideration too. For some of these U.S. fighters that's flying out there, they're not going to be, you know, used to fighting at that time and training at that time. Some of these fighters already got acclimated to that training, already waking up at 1 o'clock in the morning, shadow boxing, dipping their hands into gasoline and stuff like that. So let's go ahead and get it started, man. All right, if you guys want more information on any of my content that's coming out, check me out on Instagram at MMA Locker Room. I'm interviewing your favorite fighters out there, doing the media works that you guys like. So check out my stuff out there and make sure you guys like and subscribe over here at Pick Dawgz. All right, first fight of the night, Shayna Bannon taking on Elise Eralin. All right, this fight just got put together on short notice. Shayna Bannon had a different opponent. She was a big 200 favorite in this spot. Now she's all the way down to like, I want to say like a minus 160. Elise Eralin did some little tape study on her scene. Man, she actually has some decent, you know, fights. Fought the UFC champion Zhilei Wang in a different promotion before she came up. Shayna Bannon made her UFC debut against Brasil. Wasn't able to get the win in that fight. She's a decent kickboxer, and that's really all she got to it. She doesn't have, you know, power in her hands. She doesn't have fast kicks or anything like that. Elise Eralin, though, she's on a 7-fight win streak. She's going out there. She's punching with power out there, folks. She got a lot of stuff going on in her life, too. You know, a real popular fighter. She's making a UFC debut off the OnlyFans kind of thing, you know, to where a lot of people know about her because her OnlyFans account and what she does on social media. But I'm here to tell you this. I think she wins. I like the dog in this spot. If you guys were able to snatch her up earlier on when she was like plus 185, man, shout out to y'all. But I hopped on her as soon as my book came out. I like the dog in this one. I think Elise Eralin could even finish Shayna Bannon but I actually think she's going to be able to win by decision. The play, the pick, stick with the dog in this one. All right, second fight taking place. Mick Parkin taking on Lucas Brzeski. All right, man, Mick Parkin. Look, a London fighter, a Brit. He's going out there, you know, to get the wrestling going. He's a minus 280 favorite, folks. I like him in this spot. He's 3-0 in the UFC or 2-0 in the UFC. Lucas Brzeski is the guy that they just feed out there to get losses to. Last fight out, he actually got a win, though, man. He was fighting Johnny Walker's little brother making his UFC debut, and it was just a horrible fight. But in that fight, he got taken down time and time again. Mick Parkin, I actually think this spot on there is where, yes, I think the minus 280 is favorite and warranted. I got him in a parlay. I'll let you guys know about the later leg in that. All right, third fight on the card. Sam Peterson, 11-2-1, taking on Kiefer Crosbie. All right, Sam Peterson is now found his weight class, okay? Stepping up to the welterweight. Before he was in the 155 division. Didn't look good, but I'm just here to tell you. Minus 300 on Sam Peterson. I can't do it. I can't do it. I can't do it. Kiefer Crosbie, last fight out, he got subbed by Kevin Jousset in the play that we had a straight bet on Kevin Jousset. I think it was like minus 160 in there. Okay, Kiefer Crosbie can hit, okay? If this stays on the feet, I wouldn't be surprised, you know, if Sam Patterson's really needing those takedowns to win this fight. When it's all said and done, though, if I'm betting a minus 300 favorite on there, there's no way it's going to be attached to Sam Patterson in this one. When it's all said and done, he should be able to finish Kiefer Crosbie inside the distance. Sam Patterson is great on the mat, so if he gets you down, you're probably going to tap, okay? With that being said, Sam Patterson should be able to win inside the distance. My pick is going to be Sam Patterson. And, my prediction, Sam Patterson win inside the distance. But look, listen, some of you guys see big numbers and big favorites. And they're just like, grab this one, grab that one, and grab that one, and they should win. I'm trying to tell y'all, man, there's no way I'm grabbing Sam Patterson at this minus 300. There's a couple of more on there that I'm not grabbing either. All right, next fight taking place. This one's going to be a good one, folks. Kape, 19-6, taking on Mokaev, 11-0. Man, Mokaev opened up a minus 130. Now he's up to like a minus 150 out there. Let's talk about what he's done. He's took the UFC by storm pretty much. 6-0 in the UFC, 4 wins by submission, I think. He's a real good grappler. And he's trying to get you down to the ground. He's trying to finish you. That's the difference. Some of these guys go lay and pray style. He's out here. I remember, I think his coach told him, hey, you got like a minute and 45 seconds left. He's like, all right, man, I need to get the finish. Like, he's going out there looking for the finish every single time he's out there, man. I really like the way that he approaches his fights. His striking is not where it needs to be if he's going to be at this high level of UFC championship and challenging for that belt. He's still improving, though. But, his wrestling, his grappling, that's where he shines at. Kape, man, he shines on the feet. Power in his hands fast. If he's striking with you, you're probably going to get put out to sleep. Coming from Rising, he came to the UFC, and he was fed the short notice champ status pretty much. He was a backup for the championship fight on short days notice, and then he got a fight with Pantoja in his UFC debut and lost that. Since then, lost to Mateus Nikolai in a fight that was close. Sometimes Kape is out there and he'll let your opponent win. Like, he gives you opportunities. He's fighting close and opportunities in here. I see a lot of people on Kape, man. I like Mokaev in here. I bet him too, man. So, yeah, I really like Mokaev in this spot. Let's keep it going. Next fight, man, taking place. Elliott, 10-2, taking on Preston Parsons in this one. All right, Preston Parsons, minus 135 favorite. He's the type of guy. He's going to go for the takedowns time and time again, okay? And that's the type of fighter that I usually always bet on, He's a short, stocky dude, too. His striking is, I'll give him like a C, okay? His submission skills is there, too. I won't sleep on him on that, okay? Elliott, he's going to have the hometown crowd backing him a little bit in this one. Kind of these guys are the same. Both like to wrestle. Both like to go with the takedowns. I seen Elliott make his UFC debut last time out against Val Woodbourne. And, he was able to get the win, but it wasn't impressive or anything. But I like Elliott, man. I like him in this spot, and I actually did better, man. I like the dog in this one. I think Elliott wins by decisions. I think when it comes down to it, wrestling and grappling, he's going to be able to reverse some of these takedowns in the second round. And Preston Parsons, I don't think that he's going to have that gas tank the same way that he did at 1 o'clock in the morning to keep going for these takedowns relentlessly all throughout the fight. So I'm leaning with the dog in that one. I think Elliott is going to win, man. And, I like his character. I like his style too, man. He's fighting for something, I think he goes by the name of like the something gangster or I forgot what it is, man. But yeah, man. I got Elliott in this spot, okay? Elliott is going to win. Let's go ahead and take you home, man. All right, next fight taking place. Modestas Bukauskas taking on Marcin Prachnio. Man, Modestas Bukauskas is a minus 155 favorite. Former Cage Warriors fighter. All right, now let's go ahead and bring this up, okay? The second guy, now, because Elliott was the first Cage Warriors fighter making his fight on this card, okay? I got a thing. I think a lot of the Cage Warrior fighters are going to win, okay? Cage Warriors is a promotion that came from London, that came from the likes of Tom Aspinall, Paddy Pimblett, and, everybody else. So, see. So, first fighter was Elliott from Cage Warriors. Second fight, Modestas Bukauskas. He's taking on Marcin Prachnio. Not too convinced in this fight, not too invested in this fight. I think fight goes the distance is the best bet. And I think Modestas Bukauskas should still be able to get the win in that fight, though. Even though it is going to be a close fight, I do lean Bukauskas in that one, okay? All right, next fight taking place, man. All right, this one gonna be a good one, too. Loughran taking on Jake Hadley. Loughran, another Cage Warriors alumni. He's 1-1 in the UFC now, fought 2 times. Wrestler, goes out there, keeps his hand down, likes to flip off the crowd and stuff like that. Yeah, man, he's taking on Jake Hadley. Jake Hadley, he's coming off a loss in his last fight against Charles Johnson. And Jake Hadley stepping up in this weight class, too. Stepping up to the 135. Taking it on short notice in here. Colin Loughran's a minus 200 favorite in there. I think the fight goes the distance. Man, I think this line is a lot closer than what people are implicating, though, man. Like, it's like that in the UFC, man, or in the fight game. You lose twice, they're like, oh, man, you're not good no more. And then they start saying this and that. I just think the line should have been closer, right? But it is what it is. I like Colin Loughran to get the win in here. And that's my second leg of the parlay that I got with Mick Parkin. That's a plus 110. So, yeah, I did Colin Loughran and Mick Parkin. That's my two-leg parlay that I already got locked in. And, yeah, I like it because Jake Hadley is going to be taking this fight on short notice. You know, and I do think Loughran should be able to get his way with them as well, too. I just wish the line was a little bit lower, you know what I mean? Like, that was the thing. But next fight taking place, man, this line definitely ain't low. Molly McCann, big favorite on the card, taking on Bruna Brasil. Molly McCann is going to be fighting in her, you know, definitely like her hometown. You know, she's going to be having the crowd behind her. And there's a saying out there, whenever she fights on the card with Patty Pimblett, they never lose together, folks. Okay, she's a big favorite on this one. Bruna Brasil, she got her win against Shayna Bannon last time out. She's a decent kickboxer out there. She averages about 3.6 strikes per minute. Compared to Molly McCann, who's averaging about 6 strikes per minute. Whew, man, doubling up. Molly McCann, clean boxer out there. Good with submissions, physical. Going out there to push the pace. Going out there to finish you. You know, you're in for a fight if you're fighting Molly McCann. If you're fighting Bruna Brasil, kind of skating around, seeing if this is going to work, trying to keep your distance. I remember her fight against, who was it? I forget who it was. Who was it? Denise Gomes. She just got flatlined. She's been flatlined a couple of times in her fight. But I'm here to tell you this. There's no way I'm betting Molly McCann at minus 300 favorite, folks. No way ever. If she was like minus 180, all right, I'm in. Minus 220, I'm looking at it and I'm thinking. You know, I'm really going to think and debate, you know, at minus 220. But minus 360, minus whatever, she's probably going to close out at minus 400 once everybody starts parlaying or saying this and that. Listen, folks, I actually think Bruna Brasil is good. Not as, you know, superior as some of these fighters in the UFC, but she has good attributes, man. Her kicks are on point. Her high kicks, man, she can catch you. I think if this goes later on to the rounds, Bruna Brasil could maybe put together some good late second round and third round if Molly McCann ain't able to get the finish. So look, folks, this is a betting show. And if I'm betting on this one, I'm taking Bruna Brasil with those odds, man. Okay? Like, this is the thing. I say Molly McCann can win inside the distance. But Bruna Brasil with those odds and what we see Molly McCann do as big favorite and warranted, I can't trust it. I just can't. For that price tag, I can't. If it, like I said, if it was minus 180, minus 160, I'm all in. Minus 180, minus 200, that's when you start thinking about it. You start thinking about all those Molly McCann fights that she did when she was a big favorite and she lost. So with that, the ball's in your court, but I know a lot of people's going to say, oh, you're crazy. Give me Molly McCann. Give me Molly McCann. And then if she wins, they're going to say, I told you you're crazy. You're crazy. Not really, man. She's a minus 3-1 favorite. She's supposed to win, right? But everything don't go right, you know, sometimes in this cage. That's why it's a fight. Next fight on the board, man. Nathaniel Wood taking on Daniel Pineda. Man, Nathaniel Wood at this weight class, 145, I don't think he's the same fighter, man. He moved up, and I'll be honest with you, man, it's just not the same. He's already the small guy. But in this one, the odds ain't small. He's a minus 400 favorite. Former Cage Warrior fighter, too. That's Nathaniel Wood. Molly McCann is a former Cage Warrior fighter, too. Just want to throw that out there for you guys. All right. I cannot parlay Nathaniel Wood at minus 400. I just can't. Like I said, I know he's probably going to win. But if it was minus 220, minus 250, I'm all in. Minus 270, I'm there. Minus 300, I start thinking about it. And sometimes, you know, Nathaniel Wood can go out there and lose close fights. I made money with Nathaniel Wood. He's taking on Daniel Pineda. He's an older fighter, but he's explosive, and he's going out there just to win and just to finish people. And if he doesn't do that earlier on in the fight, he's probably going to get finished too. The pick is going to be Nathaniel Wood. I do think he wins. I'm a lot more confident in Nathaniel Wood than I am in Molly McCann, of course. But with those odds, man. Yeah, Nathaniel. Nah. Okay. Nathaniel Wood should win. Let me get off the odds. If you get a nice 2-leg with Nathaniel Wood, I'm not mad at it, okay? Because I think I can even cook one up, you know. But, yeah, Nathaniel Wood should win. I ain't too mad at that pick, man. All right, next fight, man. It's going to be a good one, man. We got Eralin taking on Chikadze. Oh, right, man. Eralin, man. It seems like he can't find the win. 0-2 in his last couple of fights. But that's losing against honorable people who's supposed to win. Chikadze, we haven't seen him fight forever. All right, the opening odds. Eralin like a -220, -230 favorite on there. Both these guys kind of got similar records, kind of got striking similarities. I like Chikadze's kick. It's a kick that he does, hits everybody in the liver, and they just seem to drop in here. We haven't seen Giga, though, man. He hasn't been active. And when he came into the UFC, he was active. He was getting like 2-3 fights a year. The last 2-3 years, I don't even remember his really fights, man. I remember he fought Alex Caceres, and, you know, that was about it. That scratches my surface of when it comes to Giga, though. And here, I think the fight goes the distance is the best bet. I like Eralin to win. Next fight taking place, Christian Leroy Duncan. 10-1, taking on Gregory Rodriguez, 15-5. Christian Leroy Duncan is a -130 favorite. Christian Leroy Duncan is the closest resemblance we're ever going to see to John Jones. The way that he strikes, spinning elbows, the way that he switched stances, flying knees, everything. I mean, I guarantee, when he was up and coming, he was just probably watching John Jones saying, hey, man, he has the same height as me, same, advantages of me. Hey, I could do this too. And he was probably in the gym training like him or having maybe the same traits as him. Let me say that. Because when I see him, I see a mini John Jones when it comes to the moves. Not the wrestling, though, but as far as the striking and stuff like that, man, Gregory Rodriguez is there to get hit. And I think he's going to get hit in this one, man. I like Christian Leroy Duncan in this spot. I bet him at a -130. I think he's going to get the finish in this fight. If Gregory Rodriguez is smart, he's going to go for the takedowns and stuff. I like Gregory Rodriguez, too. Made a lot of money with them betting on, fights in the UFC and LFA. But in this one, though, I think Christian Leroy is going to be the faster fighter, and he's going to oppose thrusts that Gregory Rodriguez ain't ready to download with. Watch, when you see Christian Leroy move on his feet, man, it's nice, man. I think he's going to finish him, too, inside the distance. Next fight taking place, King Green taking on Paddy Pimblett. King Green, a.k.a. Bobby Green, opened up at a -160, came all the way down to a -120. Last fight out, he finished didn't finish Jim Miller. He went to the distance with Jim Miller, okay? Everybody know about King Green, though, man. His striking style is one that you want to see. Paddy Pimblett, man, he has good striking. Hasn't lost since he came to the UFC. Grappling is his key, though. Before he came to the UFC, he came from the Cage Warriors scene. And, he was out there taking people down to the ground and submitting them, finishing them. In this one, though, I think fight's not going the distance. I'm a big fan of Paddy Pimblett. Been following him on Cage Warriors way before he came out and betting him on there as a big stupid favorite. Bobby Green, you know me already, man. I stick to Bobby Green. He's from the backyard of my city out here in California. So, yeah, man. I like Bobby Green in this spot. I think he could go out there and get the finish, too. Yeah, man. I say he finishes him in round 2 as well. King Green with the win. All right. But this fight, it's a good one, folks, and I think the price is right on either fighter now that the price has come down on both. Well, not on both, but on King Green, and Paddy Pimblett. Hey, if you guys got him earlier on at those plus money, I ain't worried about it. But just listen to some stuff that I've been hearing about him talking about in media today. He was talking about his coaches sent him a message saying that he was going to have to pull him out the fight like a month ago because his mind wasn't there and stuff like that. And after that, he snapped into it and stuff like that, saying he had the best 4 or 5 weeks after that. Text message. And you're hearing about stuff like this rumbling right now, and it's like, yeah, And they got a little bit of rivalry beef going on. You know, they've been mentioning each other's names in the media as well. So I think King Green gets the win. Fight not going the distance. Next fight taking place. Co-main event. Tom Aspinall versus Curtis Blaydes. It's a rematch. Tom Aspinall, big favorite, minus 350 in here. Curtis Blaydes is one of the most dominant, best wrestlers in the heavyweight division. He has the most takedowns in the UFC. And here, when they fought the first time, Tom Aspinall threw a kick and it got checked and he broke his leg. Curtis Blaydes won. Since then, Tom Aspinall became the interim champion after knocking out Sergey Pavlich, okay? In this fight in here, I think Tom Aspinall wins inside the distance, folks. Enough said. But I wouldn't be surprised if Curtis Blaydes gets the win too, because I made so much money with Curtis Blaydes and he was the guy that I thought could be champion. It's just that as of late he hasn't been fighting like that. He doesn't go for takedowns. He does have power in his hands, but he just doesn't use the wrestling. If you're not going to use the wrestling in a fight to where you clearly have the advantage of, then I can't go with it. But anybody betting on Curtis Blaydes at that plus money, I'm here for you. I see you out there, and I actually think that's a great bet. You know, if this fight gets extended, what does it look like? But I think Tom Aspinall, his boxing is top tier, man. He's fast and he has power and he has submission skills. So I think Tom Aspinall wins inside the distance. Those was one of the bets that we first started to make on Tom Aspinall when he came from the Cage Warriors to the UFC. So yeah, man, I think Tom Aspinall wins inside the distance. Main event time. Everybody smash that like button for me. Let me know who you're betting on. Leon Edwards taking on Belal Muhammad. Another rematch, man. The first time they fought, Leon Edwards poked Belal Muhammad in the eye, and, fight couldn't go on in the second round. Ended like that. In this one, Leon Edwards a minus 240 favorite. Belal Muhammad, he's going to go out there. His key to path to victory, he's going to have to get these takedowns, man. And he's relentless with them. Leon Edwards is out there, and he gives you a lot of close fights. Sometimes you're just looking at the screen saying, what am I even watching in here? I like the dog in this one, man. I think we're gonna get a new champion. I've been betting on Belal Muhammad for a while, man. He beat my boy Curtis Millender. Ever since then, 11-0 or 10-0, man. He hasn't lost a fight. Leon Edwards hasn't lost a fight either. Or, I don't know. I think they're both like 11-0, this and that. They both got crazy win streaks, man. I'm not here to discredit any of these fighters in here. I think Belal Muhammad is just gonna. I think it's his time right now. And I think he's going to have a perfect game plan and do what he needs to in between the rounds to change it. So if the fight's going like this in round 1, round 2, I think by round 3, his coaches and his game plan is going to tell him something. He's going to implement it and change up. And he knows it's his time. And he worked so hard to get here. And that's what it is, man. I like Belal Muhammad in this spot. All right, man. So let's go ahead. I want everybody out there to let me know who you guys are betting on, though, man. Who's your guys' best bet of the week? UFC bet with me. MMA locker room here with Pick Dawgz. Kane wrote the Pick Dawgz. Stay on the porch.